Exactly. Perjury would be.
Okay, so as this unfolds, as you go further into this, it seems like the problem goes beyond one corrupt Jersey City mayor.
It does, and here you hit just on it with the prosecutor's office here. Okay. This very prosecutor's office, in arguing against Healy for his charges, Healy pressed charges against Officer
Okay,
Brown.
And there's another abuse too. Okay.
So when they go to handle that case, they go before a grand jury. It comes out in the grand jury that Healy said all these things about the cop. Mm-hmm. You know, you've pressed these charges, you're in trouble. An actual threat, because you don't know who I'm going to use my influence to get you. That goes before the grand jury, so much so that the judge who heard that case, said that this is of public interest because Healy used his office to threaten the cop. That's the judge's words.
Right.
The appellate court, where Healy challenged that verdict, also said that we find, we hold for Officer Browning, and we find that it's incredulous because Healy used his office in threatening the cop. So two courts have already found that Healy used his office. At the time of Healy's trial, the same prosecutor's office suddenly has amnesia.
Okay.
None of these facts are brought into Healy's case, and as a matter of fact, having read the Healy trial transcript 4 times, every time that there's a question brought up about what went on after the arrest and Healy using his office, there's an objection made, and even the defense attorney, even the prosecutor, okay, when the defense attorney for Healy says, we object to any testimony being brought in about Healy's actions at the police station or after the arrest, he doesn't even wait for the judge to rule. Sustained or objection sustained, objection overruled. He just starts on another line of questioning, like he's agreeing, like they have some agreement.
Well,
it's incredible.
Okay, it looks obvious here that the Monmouth County Prosecutor's office is in the tank.
I was just going to use that word.
What about the judge, the first judge?
We think that they look.
Colanino.
Yeah. When you move for forfeiture, okay, it's the prosecutor's job, and the guidelines. There were guidelines for this from the Attorney General that say, when you know it's an elected official, when you know it touched on his office, and that's obvious because of their argument in the Browning case, you're supposed to let the judge know.
Okay, a lot of this is covered in from somebody called the Political Insider, and it's not even when you move for forfeiture.
It's even when you waive.
Right. Even when, from the time that Healy got arrested, it's somebody's job to find out, is this a public
That's
official?
Exactly right.
Okay. And it's all spelled out of the law.
That's exactly right.
And they say, okay, he's a public official. Okay, is this something that causes him to forfeit his office? Let's say they decide no. Okay. When they decide no, they have to do. They have to do.
Mandatory. They have to fill out paperwork.
A written statement that says it doesn't do this, and this is why.
And this is where we have them. We feel
and they never did.
No, and they had the audacity, if you will, in the court papers they filed in our case to actually state that we did make a decision in the Healy. We decided that the actions of Healy did not touch on his office. And you're right. That they don't have that sole right. That has to be subject to judicial review. Right. A judge needs to say, you didn't abuse your discretion, you're right on that. And in this whole matter,
but there again, let's get back to that judge, Judge Colanino.
Right.
He knows he's the mayor of Jersey City.
He knows that. I don't think the judge...
Where's the paperwork?
I don't think the judge was aware. And they kept it from him. I don't think the judge was aware because the judge never looked at the police reports. They were kept out, and he can't by law.
Okay, but he knows he's the mayor of Jersey City.
He knows he's the mayor of Jersey City. But what the prosecutor and the defense attorney led him to believe is that the incident didn't touch on Healy's office.
Okay. You can't lead him to believe that. You got to give him the form
that
says...
Well, yeah, you're right. But the judge never followed up on... And to believe... If you look at some of these cases with forfeiture that wind up going into court where somebody else brings a suit, it's usually something where a judge was lax on knowing this type of area of law. And I think that's what happened here. I think that this deal got made between the prosecutor and the defense attorney. So you don't think Judge
Colanino is in the tank? You don't think he's been influenced by Mayor Healy?
No.
Okay. And I guess you have no information on the police chief, whether he...
Oh, I think he has an interest. He was dining with, or not dining, in the evidence at trial. He was in the bar where Healy was the night of the incident. He had a few drinks with him. He's friendly with him.
Okay.
He's had some other interplay with him. And Healy's, the bar where Healy was, his sister owned the bar at the time. And she was an important person in Bradley Beach. Very important.
No, but I'm saying there's nothing to show that chief had any influence here.
No, other than Healy wanted him to get involved. We think the charges would have never got filed if the judge or if that chief went against the officers.
If they made the call.
That's right.
Okay. Okay.
That would have been interesting.
Here's the thing: if the cops were corrupt,
right,
we would never know about this.
That's right.
Okay. And if the cops are doing their job the way they're supposed to do their job, they have learned through this series of events that you're going to pay the price for that.
That's exactly right.
I mean, they must look over their shoulder now when they go to work and figure whose toes are we stepping on.
You're exactly right. I think that's the message that was sent to you.
Okay.
That's exactly the message that was sent to you.
Okay. Now, the only thing that I have here is this political insider is from October 1st, 2008. I just want to state that he's quoting the requirements. There's a pamphlet that these Attorney
General guidelines.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's related to New Jersey statutes 2C:51-2 parentheses
That's the forfeiture statute.
Okay, and it's spelled out. There's no doubt about it. There's no use your discretion, do the best you can, see how you can. It says you do this, and
That's
this.
exactly right.
They never did.
That's exactly right.
So we've had 3 excuses. One was from County Prosecutor DeFazio that said he never invoked his office. The other one that's the general thing that, it doesn't matter because it was in Monmouth County where he has...
No, that's...
And then the final one, the final grasp, is that you have no standing. Okay? Now, what about that judge?
Well, that's... we think here...
Lawrence Lawson.
We didn't get a fair ruling here. And actually, this judge at at the first tier level of the justice system before an appellate court and the Supreme Court actually overruled the Supreme Court in saying that when you look at this issue, the whole purpose of the forfeiture statute is to be taken serious, and the judge should extend any liberal interpretation of the law to enforce the statute. Meaning,
did somebody get to him?
No, but I think he's uncomfortable because he works with the prosecutor on a daily basis on issue after issue. The fact that he didn't get into the meat of the matter speaks a lot about him not make that bad a ruling. And you ask any attorney, to get thrown out on standing is virtually ludicrous in this state.
All right, we're going to have to wrap this up. We're running out of time. I want to repeat that I appreciate you going through this process. Let me ask you, if somebody wants to get more information on this, do you maintain any
file we have a file on it, and I'd be glad to talk to them and help them. We don't have anything on the website, nothing on the website yet, but once it's detailed, and we'll post the paperwork, the legal briefs and everything on the website.
Okay. Are you running for mayor?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I am.
One of them said that's not accurate in here. It said that you're going to support.
That was at that time, but you're probably one of the first to know.
Okay.
You're breaking news.
We better,
before even Jersey City would know.
They're going to know by the time this show gets out. They're going to know.
Okay. But yes, I am.
Yeah, this is going to be a couple of weeks from now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I wish you well.
Thank you so much.
You've got a hard road ahead of you. You've got a lot of people that want this office, and I see Schindler,
perhaps Senator Cunningham. You might have Councilman.
If you were to make it, you would need the support of Senator Cunningham.
Maybe not. Maybe not. I would like the support of Senator Cunningham, but Mike, I always go into these things on. I look at the condition of the office I'm running for. I know I can make a difference. I've proven that in whatever I've done, and that should be the criteria. It never should be who's going to support you for what reasons. It should be, do you feel you can make a difference? Do you want to make a difference? And do you have the, what it takes to go and campaign? And that's how I do it.
All right. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. I want to thank my cameraman, Want Sambade?
Thank you,
All
Monzo.
right. And say hi to Chuck.
Chuck, missed you, but hopefully the next time I'll come in the studio. How's that?
Okay, great.
Okay,
Thank
good
you
to
so
be here.
much.
Thanks so much.